Hello, 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 my faithful friends and family. It is I, the gaming prophet, he who hath been commissioned by the gaming gods themselves, even Miyamoto the Father, Kojima the Son, and Carmack the Holy Ghost, appeared unto me in prophetic vision, commanding me to return the one true gaming podcast back to Earth. In order to do that, I was instructed to simply interview creative and interesting people about their favorite gaming memories. Growing up, that's the spiel. I talk to people, I meet people, I ask them about the games they like, and just get to know them. And today, we have a guest. This guest is a streamer and an all-around badass who I initially came across on the old TikTok. I know, the filthy TikTok. Look, TikTok is awesome. You want to know why? Because it is true. China is spying on you. But if you just hand your data over, let the Chinese algorithm spy on your entire life for about 3 months, all of a sudden TikTok is going to start hitting you home runs. Like 40-50% of the shit it shows you is shit you legitimately like. It's got me figured out. It's addictive as hell. It's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. But it showed me a video by this young lady who goes, her streamer handle is Tayzgg, Tayzgg. I think the GG stands for good game. Anyway, I came across her on this TikTok video where a girl is crying and her mascara is running. And I was like, oh shit, I don't want to see someone cry. I don't want to feel depressed. But I watched, turned out she's talking about gaming and how the friends she has made online, the good times she's had playing games with friends online, make all the bullshit of living with a disability worth it. It was a very touching video and had good music, made me a little emotional. And I just said, fuck it, let's see if she wants to come on the podcast, because she did not specify, what things she was going through, what she meant. I believe she said disability in the post, just saying like, hey, when life sucks, gaming with your friends can make it better. And I thought it was really cool because there's a huge aspect. I don't know how else to say this. Like, our society is morphing in a way where online culture is almost becoming more prevalent than meat bag culture in real life culture when we're walking around in our meat suits. And gaming etiquette and gaming culture, I think, is going to continue to influence the entire lexicon of human interaction. And it's an important part of what's going on. And people are finding meaningful relationships with people online. And it's a real thing. I think it's important. It's going to happen more and more. That caught my interest, and I asked her to come on the podcast and talk about it, and she did. So she's pretty fucking good. She always jokes about how she's not good at these games, but I know from training jiu-jitsu and doing MMA, like casual training, the people who self-deprecate and say they suck are usually the ones who are the assassins. So I have a suspicion that she's better than she says she is, because she's always talking like, I'm always getting carried by my team. I'm always fucking the game up. I'm always missing my shots. She just always is joking about how shitty she is at gaming, which leads me to believe she's probably better than she's letting on. A lot of first-person gaming, FPS, Warzone, Tayzgg, Tayzgg, on all the applicable places, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it, Tayzgg. Other than that, I've been playing a lot of PS1 games, prepping for launching my YouTube channel, The Official Way. I'm going to be doing a lot of boss runs, capturing footage via emulation in the highest quality way that I possibly can, using the best available community texture packs and mods, and just basically doing like iconic playthroughs. So, for example, I have all the bosses, summons, and spells from Final Fantasy VIII with all the fancy mods, being very meticulous about my recording quality and my conversions to maintain as crisp of a picture as possible, so the final product can be, you can enjoy playing some of these old games with all the cool shit that's taken me years to learn how to do without doing all that work. You can just get a little shot of nostalgia right to your brain, squish that back there, hit that pituitary gland, start churning out some dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Get me that juice, baby. And I'm trying to record it in the most potent, time-efficient manner. So let's say you love Final Fantasy VIII, but you really love Diablos. Well, it's going to be time-stamped. You can click on Diablos, go right to the part of the game that you'd like to see. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. You get to see with all the dopest shit available in 2021. I'm also doing that with basically only PS1 games. Working my way through Legend of the Dragoon right now, or The Legend of Dragoon is how you're technically supposed to say it. People online been shitting all over me. I moved the one word "the" around. I made one tiny little mistake, and people are up in arms. Oh my god, he said the name of the game wrong. Why is he even alive? He should slit his wrists. people are brutal online. And I thought it wouldn't bother me. It kind of bothered me for about 3 weeks. And then I realized how fucking inconvenient it is to be bothered by dumb motherfuckers online. And I just flipped a switch. And it hasn't been too bad since. Been having some good luck. Gran Turismo video did well. Legend of the Dragoon video did well. Trying to pop out tasty daily content and then create some juicy, meaty content for the old YouTubes. That's about it. Other than that, I've been talking to people about their favorite games growing up, and I really enjoyed my conversation with Tayzgg. Check her out. I'll put all applicable links in the podcast description as usual. She's a badass streamer. Thank her very much for coming on the podcast and being very personal and telling us about her fucking life. And I'll have to say one disclaimer. After we finished the podcast, we talked a little bit more, and I could tell she's not the type of person who's a complainer. She sort of undersold how difficult the transition and dealing with her condition. I won't spoil it. I'll let her tell that story. She sort of undersold it in the podcast. And as I talked to her after the podcast a little bit more, she's dealing with some real shit. I found her to be a really impressive person because when I put myself into her shoes and thought about, how would I handle things if I was in the same situation as her? And my confidence in myself wasn't super high. She's dealing with some real shit. So I think that she's an inspirational person in that regard. I don't think it was intentional. She likes to downplay how good she is at stuff. She likes to downplay, what she's dealing with. But that's usually the sign of someone who's a badass. And I think she's a badass. Check her out. In other words, I say these things in the name of me, Mother the Father, Kojima the Son, and Carmack, the Holy Ghost. Amen, and enjoy the show. All right. So I purposely didn't want you to give me any more spills before we got on the podcast because I wanted to get my initial, my raw reaction to your story. And the reason why, for the people listening, this will probably come out in a few weeks, I came across your TikTok video, and normally if I see a video of a girl crying, I'm like, I don't want to feel sad. So I just scroll by. But I forgot what it was in the initial opening seconds. It was something about maybe the text you put about gaming. I'm like, this has to do with gaming. Mm-hmm. So I ended up watching it, and then I got super emotional, and I was like, I got to talk to this chick. And I just commented on your thing, and that's how I get a lot of podcast guests. You got right back to me. And so to give people a preface, you posted a video hinting at you used gaming to get through a disability and that gaming connects us to people. I don't think it gets enough credit. You make real friends online, even if you don't see them in person.
Absolutely.
And that's what I wanted to get into. So for me to hear the whole story from the first time and for the audience, I want to hear the background behind that. I'll put a link to your TikTok and your Instagram in the video, but whatever music you put on and the way you put it together, I legitimately started tearing up. I was like, she's right. Gaming is so awesome.
Thank you so much.
So I was like, I got to talk to this chick. So tell us the story.
Yeah. So I've been gaming since I was younger. It's always been something that I've really enjoyed. I had the original PlayStation. I had an original Game Boy. It's probably showing my age, but something I enjoyed. And in middle school, I was doing the whole online thing, but I was just really doing it to honestly talk to guys. I liked playing, but I would meet up with the guys in high school and that. And I got Red Ring right before I went to college. So it was kind of weird timing, but I didn't end up gaming in college at all. I had a lot going on and it just never was a thing for me. Here and there, maybe if someone had a console, I would jump on a game or two, but nothing crazy. So after college, I started to get a little bit sick and I didn't really know what was going on. And I'd bought an Xbox again after a breakup. So again, all these things that I just things that pop up in my life. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be spending a lot of time probably feeling kind of down and video games are something that a lot of people use, I think, to just get away from things. And that's kind of what this TikTok was hinting at. But to elaborate more on that, after I bought this Xbox after the breakup, I started getting really dizzy all the time and not really knowing what was going on. And it was impacting my life a lot. I would go exercise and get really dizzy, or I'd be in the shower and get really dizzy. So a couple of years later, they diagnosed me with something called POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's not super common, but it's not also super rare. And it's not terminal or anything, but it basically just means that when I stand up, my heart works really fast to keep the blood going around in my body. So I'm actually doing this from bed right now because it's just easier sometimes for me to lie down and be that way. But anyway, so I was finding that anything to do with being active was causing me a lot of distress. And gaming was the one thing that I could do, and I could lie down and I could just like enjoy myself. Like it got my mind off of everything that I was feeling physically, which is something that there's so many things out there that people use to distract from both physical and mental things. But gaming was so like, you have to focus so hard. You're so in there, you know, visually you're talking. There's so many things going on that I couldn't think about anything going on with my body. I was just like keyed in. So I have 72 days on Rainbow Six Siege because I was not working. I was on disability leave, and all I did every day, because it was the only thing that got me not thinking about my symptoms, which were exacerbated by anxiety for sure. I was an anxious mess. I was super depressed. I hated my life. I went from being super active and doing all these things to like basically being bedbound in a matter of months. So I was just like crushed.
What other symptoms? So is the main symptom nausea or lightheadedness when you stand up or do anything active?
Just dizziness in general. I get a lot of like vertigo. I get some kind of disconnect a little bit. There are people that faint. I don't personally faint, but that is a symptom as well. And then my heart will race. I'll have random moments where my heart will just start to race. I just like the way my body responds to it is it's just kind of like excess adrenaline in my body. So, and you would think that video games would make that worse, but I'm not one of those sweaty players that like my heart gets pumping when I'm in like the final circle of a battle royale. Like they've always been something that have more comforted me than anything. But at the time when all this was going on, it's funny too, because I was like so scared to play with people. I would do casual matches in Rainbow Six because I didn't want to play ranked and get stuck in a match and feel like I couldn't leave. If my heart started to race and I needed to pull out of the game, like I was so paranoid about that. So like my friends would invite me to play, or the ones that I did have at the time on there, which wasn't a big list. I just got back into it. I didn't have all my college friends or people that I met online. So I would like just play by myself because I didn't want to like have to be like, oh, I have to go and shut off my Xbox at the time. So it wasn't till probably the summer where I reconnected with a couple friends from college that I didn't know super well when I went to college. But they came in and I started playing with them every single night, playing, Destiny and PUBG and like some random games like that. And at the time too, I was staying with my aunt. My parents were so fed up with me and so fed up with I wasn't fully diagnosed. They didn't know what was going on with me. I was like very difficult to deal with, to be around because I was just so messed up. I had spent some time in the psych ward for a little bit. They just thought that I was just like, it was all in my brain. Like I was just a mess.
And was all of this all cascading effects from the symptoms? Because I'm imagining like the closest thing that I can try to relate to would be I've had some gut issues, and sometimes I'll be nauseous for an extended period of time. And sometimes after a while, it's like, man, I've been nauseous for like 5 hours. It's just like, it kind of grinds on you.
Yeah.
And so so for you, was it like the symptoms just kept lasting and lasting and lasting? And then that was leading to more depression, anxiety. And then that led to like arguing
more
with your
symptoms,
parents and then blah, blah,
arguing
blah.
with parents. Yeah. Yeah. It just was spiraling. I isolated from all my real life friends. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I was a little bit agoraphobic. So I didn't like leaving my house. I didn't like being anywhere but in my bed pretty much, just because that was where I was comfortable. And again, with the games and things that could just distract me from what I was feeling. So I was living with my aunt and I was playing these games, and she's like, every night when you get on these games with your friends, you sound like a completely different person. Like you sound like that old Taylor that we used to know. Like you're just like back to yourself. You're laughing, you're joking with them. And at the time, I don't think these two guys knew. I still play with them. They played with me tonight for a little bit. I don't think they know the impact that they were having on me when all this was going on. Like they were the first two that I really started to like reach out and play with every night, and we'd have like a set time.
How did you meet them online?
One was a guy from college, but I didn't talk to him in college. I just knew we became friends on Xbox one day, maybe from like Facebook Connect or something. And so I reached out because he liked one of my clips that I had saved, and I was like, hey, we should play sometime. And it was a little awkward initially because, again, you don't know these people totally, or like I didn't know him and I didn't know his friend. So yeah, I these guys we just happened to connect from like Facebook Connect or whatever. I started playing with them, and then it was just an every night thing, and they became people that I really got close with. And then from there, I guess I started building up with more people that I went to college with, like just people that I hadn't talked to in a while, and they would come back up as, you know, oh, they're playing Xbox or they enjoy playing this game, and so I just started to come back together with them. So
why did you pick Siege? Out of all the games you could have picked, I'm curious why. Because that's a very, I'm kind of surprised you that would be out of all the games. That's a very hardcore game, even amongst dudes. I don't know a ton of girls who play that. I'm curious.
I don't think I knew how toxic it was when I first played it. I've always been a first-person shooter person, so I bought Halo 5 with my Xbox when I bought it. And then, my ex and his friends were playing Siege, and I bought that Xbox to get over him. But I think I also was like, maybe if I play with them, like, I'll still be able to talk to him. So I just generated toward that game. Yeah, I don't know. And then obviously I didn't play with them for a long time after that, and that's kind of what I just stuck with. So it's kind of funny.
You picked a doozy to start with.
I did, yeah. I'm not I'm not really a cozy games like person though, streamer or gamer. I played The Sims maybe as a kid or something, but none of those games have really ever attracted me. But yeah, it's intense. And I had like a really high level. I still do. And I'm so bad. I was better when I was playing it a lot more, but like, it's embarrassing to go on there and, you know, you're level like 300 and people expect you to probably be a little bit good and you're not. So then I'm like, oh God, I wish I could just like erase that thing.
Start a new profile. Start a new tab.
Yeah, Smurf account or whatever they're called. But so my family was just noticing like that I would just completely shift when I was playing games again too, which was something they thought was really cool. And also when this was all going on, so I played games so much, my mom threatened to like throw my Xbox out or like put it in the garage or take it away from me. They would get so mad about me gaming because I did do it excessively. I mean, it was becoming maybe a bit of a problem. You know, you want to turn to games for some things, but also if you're playing all the time and they're not seeing me progress with like anything else, they didn't know what was going on. They wanted to get rid of it, but once they figured out how much joy and how much, you know, benefits it was giving me, I think that kind of changed. And I've had conversations with my parents to this day about, you know, they didn't understand and they weren't getting it. And I think a lot of parents are like that probably, where they just see their kids gaming all the time and they just think, oh, this is just a mindless hobby. It's toxic. I don't know. But like, there's so many more reasons that kids or adults could just be turning to games in general. And I think it's so important to like have those conversations, obviously like intervene if there's a problem. I see an actual therapist and she always tells me, you know, if you're turning to games beyond what is like fun for you, like you've got problems and that's why you're getting on games, like maybe you should also be seeking help for that. But at the same time, they are a way for us to just like escape everything. And even when I have hard weeks nowadays, like I'm obviously doing a lot better than I was back in 2018, but it's still something. I had a couple tough months in December where I was really symptomatic for whatever reason. And I was playing a lot of video games at that time too. So I noticed just like, it's something that I do. And like that, at that time I would play like Among Us sometimes too. So I guess that was a little cozier and less toxic. Cause it just felt like I liked getting the tasks done on the to-do list and all that. But yeah, I just think there's so many more reasons why people could be coming games. And I also, going off of that, this is why I'll never trash talk in a game and I'll never send people rude messages and toxic messages over Xbox Live. I just think you don't know why people are turning to those games in the first place. And who cares? You know, they might be toxic or they might be bad and giving that energy to you, but like nobody knows what's going on the other side of that headset, that mic,
That's a good
Xbox
point.
Live.
I mean, there's a famous saying that hurt people hurt people. So if someone sends you like a super nasty, super toxic DM and you want to ping back and get like, that person might be like borderline suicidal and acting out. You don't know that. I mean, that's like an extreme case, probably less,
right? But
I mean, it could be. It maybe not probable, but it's definitely possible.
Absolutely.
It also seems like from your story that your gaming intensifies as far as time as the symptoms go up, but it also sounds like you're naturally teetering off as your symptoms get better too, and that you're not like just turning into a hermit who never sees the sun.
No, but my stream community does make fun of me for how pale I am. They're always like, "You need to go outside. We can tell you haven't been." No, yeah, I think that it varies, and I still deal with a lot of anxiety and stuff around my condition, and obviously I'm not as active as I want to be, so I still play games probably every day. But I have such a big community now. It's incredible how many people you can find online, and that's the thing. Like, I've gone beyond just these college friends. Of course, I love to play with them. They're amazing, but I don't know. I had a lot of people commenting on that TikTok just talking about meeting people from like miles away and stuff. And we've got Discord servers with people from England and Australia. And it's just insane, like the way that this can connect everybody. And like I said, you get some really toxic people out there, but ultimately we're all on for the same reason. And we're all just trying to either escape or have fun or be with friends or do something that we really love. And gaming really has kept me from, potentially, like, trigger warning, potentially hurting myself or being in a really, really darker spot than I have been. And I don't think sometimes everybody, especially people that don't deal with the stuff or don't play games, understand that. I have a lot of, girlfriends who don't play games, and I don't think they get how huge this is. And I'm sure you could say the same for like people's wives or you know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody. Even my parents didn't get it until they witnessed it. So.
I think if someone who doesn't get it, because it also sounds like you've spent most of your time doing online games and you're interacting with other people.
Yes.
I'm a little bit different. I spend way more time single player gaming, but I've had some really good online gaming experiences and gotten into it. And I also have a lot of friends that even if I don't play games with them, I met them playing games online. And now we just interact online. We chat, we talk about new stuff, we talk about life, whatever. And I've thought about it in preparation for this podcast. Like, it's not quite the same. I don't want to say it's inferior, but it's not the same as a relationship with someone who, when you're in the meat realm, in the meat space, and you're actually interacting with them in person. Right. But there's a handful of people that, like, I would say are amongst my best friends that I've never met physically. But like, they could message me and say like, "Hey, I need to borrow some money. I'm in like a real tight spot." And I would give them money. Like, I'm really close with these people and I've never met them. And I think if someone doesn't understand online gaming, I think you're tying the escapism, what you're trying to escape, whether for you is a condition, maybe it's anxiety, depression, whatever, but you're also tying that in with community. And that's a powerful combo. You're getting away from the shit that you need a break from. Yeah. And then you're interacting and making friends. And that's like, I think if those people could get online and have like just one really good night gaming, like where the magic hits them, they're talking shit, they're laughing at each other. They go, "Oh, I get it. I get it now." I think it doesn't take much.
Right. It'll make sense for them too. Yeah. It's funny because like you said, you are more solo player games. Now that I enjoy that interaction and that social aspect, like in the beginning, like I said, I'd never played with people that I knew. Even if I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, I was muted. I was ready to turn off my Xbox in a second if I felt any kind of twinge and stuff. But now it's like, I don't like playing solo player games because I want to be around the people. I think the laughs and all the things that we share every night. I mean, I think I've laughed the hardest probably in gaming lobbies, and that my friends can be absolutely insane, and it's crazy. But I do agree with you in the aspect of like, it's not quite the same as being in person with people. And sometimes like going from a lot of that, if I'm really symptomatic and I'm spending a lot of time online, going out in public again can be, I mean, there's probably some truth that a lot of gamers have social anxiety too, because getting out there again is like, oh crap, like I hate dating right now. And a lot of that is because probably I just play games and I forget how to act around people, and they're like wanting to meet up, and I'm like, let's play Call of Duty first. You want to jump on this game real quick so I can get to know you, feel you out a little bit?
I've wondered about
it's just funny that
the future, like, because I felt it, like Corona and the lockdowns. Where are you located, by the way? I forgot to ask.
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio.
Yep.
Ohio. That's what's that show? Shoot, Drew Carey?
Yeah, the Drew Carey show. They're out of like Cleveland.
They're in
I think,
Cleveland, I think. That's as much as I know about Ohio. I am not culture. I'm sorry.
It's really okay that you don't know a lot about it.
I think, I haven't even driven through it. Where is that? What's the closest big city besides Cleveland to you?
Detroit. Okay. Maybe Detroit's pretty close. Kentucky's not too far off. So
I've been to Detroit a
Louisville.
bunch, so I guess I can kind of get an idea what it might be like.
I grew up like about an hour from Detroit.
Okay.
I'm not in that area anymore, but that's where we would like fly out of and all that kind of stuff.
Nice. My brother lives in Detroit. He works at a church. He does like the sound for like rock band churches. Anyway.
That's cool.
Random story. I go there a bunch. I'm going there actually next week to Detroit. I was asking because I think you guys had like a pretty hardcore lockdown too. You were probably just at home for at least 3 to 4 months, probably longer.
Yeah.
And I noticed that's a lot of gaming. I was already working remotely, and I noticed that even in hanging out with friends that I had spent time with physically before the lockdown, I felt awkward. Like I had social anxiety. Like, how do I act in person? Because the online interaction, even though you're talking, like we're having a conversation right now, but there's just something different about the pressure when you're in person. I don't know how to explain it.
Absolutely. No, I felt that too, getting back out, and I probably have been avoiding it more than doing it. I'm focusing a lot of energy still on gaming, and I think I need to spend some time. It's weird. You got to find that balance, like obviously gaming is incredible and it does so much for us, but then there's also the real world and getting out there and finding the happy medium there. So
well, until we get like full on VR where we can just get in a suit and rot away, I'm down. I'll do it. It's inevitable anyway. We're headed. Yeah,
that's when I was just talking to my cousin today, and they were like, VR is going to be just like everything soon. And I was like, I get nauseous playing VR.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of VRs they're going to have available, but the games that I've tried, I don't know about it.
I think they're going to go past the headset. Have you heard much about Elon Musk's trying to make this thing called Neuralink?
No, I didn't.
It's a neural lace that ties into your brainstem and like just directly connects to your brain. And so there'd be no visor. It's almost like the Matrix. It just jack you in.
That's terrifying. I don't think I'd let anything.
You say that, but it's going to happen. Humans, we don't care.
Scary.
We're going to do
That's
it.
so scary.
Yeah,
someone's going to do it.
I'm definitely not going to be the first one, but I would let like few generations of people try it and see how it goes.
Then you'll give it
yeah.
That's terrifying to me. Oh my gosh.
I do think we're headed that way. I mean, video games they're getting so good. They are. I love them. I have a podcast about gaming. I've been way into games since I was a kid. It's one of the few subjects that I never get sick of. But as I get older, I do recognize games have become better engineered at being addictive than when I was a kid too. And so I think you just have to be careful. Like you can get sucked in, and sometimes it's hard to get out.
This is like one more until we get a win, and then you get a win, you want to keep going, like in BRs. Yeah. That's why I at the beginning of this year, I kind of went away for a bit of help for my anxiety because it was getting bad again. Quarantine kind of messed me up too, kind of set me back a little bit from all the progress that I'd made from 2018. But anyway, like I said, my therapist was just like, evaluate when you get on the game, like why you're getting on there in the first place. And kind of take a second to make sure that you're still using other coping mechanisms and things that can be beneficial first before you're just like running to the game for 12 hours a day because you just don't want to face what you're facing. So like I said, just finding that happy medium with that too, I think, because I'm seeing a lot of comments on my posts. There's a lot of positive things, but they're also like, you can't turn to gaming for everything. This is the problem, blah, blah, blah. It makes things worse. And I'm like, well, you just got to find, I firmly believe that a lot of people should be in therapy. So I feel like if you're in therapy and you're playing video games, you're probably doing something.
I think
right
of it as, it sounds like the way you've described your patterns is I'm the same way. Like, it's not like you're turning to gaming to run away from everything.
Right.
But when some things are a little overwhelming and you need to slow down the process of dealing with all of those feelings, kind of put a buffer and be like, instead of just taking all of this at once, I'm going to spread it out over 2 days and I'm going to game in between. That's going to kind of let me like slowly process this. It's almost like back to quarantine. It's like flattening the curve. Like all these people are going to get corona. We just don't want them all to go to the hospital at once.
Right.
And so gaming for me, I can use it like, something's like really bothering me and it's overwhelming. Maybe I'll game and I'll escape for a little bit. But you're in the back. I'll
still face that. Yeah.
In the back of your mind, you are still kind of dealing with it, but it's like I've hit my maximum emotional processing power for the day.
Right.
I can't process anymore, so I need to get this off my mind.
Take a break. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think you're right with that. I think it just softens the blow for a little bit, or it's probably the same thing as like taking a medication for mental health for people that do that. It's just kind of lightening it a bit or making it feel a little bit softer for the time being so that you don't have to handle it immediately, or you can handle it when you're in a better headspace or whatever that might look like. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
So on your so you've got that post. That post has basically gone viral, right? I must have if I saw it.
Yeah. It's crazy. I didn't think it would. It was slow at the beginning, so I was like, it's just another post I have. But yeah, it's pretty viral now.
How long did it take to get the ball rolling? A couple of days, or was it pretty quick?
TikTok's really fast, so typically it's only been about 24 hours since I posted. It's got like over 100,000 views now. Typically, though, if I feel like I've only had one other viral video before, and it was totally on another unrelated topic, and it'll take a few hours, then you start to notice it picking up and the notification. TikTok's so confusing, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Definitely.
It's a great way for gamers and streamers to grow and find each other. I've met some amazing people on TikTok, and they've come to, people have come to my stream from that too, and it's been absolutely amazing for growth. Even big streamers like Tim the Tatman will say like, hey, use it. But it makes absolutely no sense to me. I think having something that's relatable, and I think so many people this hit home with.
Yep.
I mean, I'm reading through comments and I'm tearing up. It's so crazy. I was trying to answer a bunch of them. I was just like just in awe of all the people that could agree or relate, and all the niceness. Like I said, my other post that got viral was there were a lot of mean comments on there, a lot of comments about my like appearance too, which is fine, but like you don't expect a bunch of people to see it, so you don't expect that.
Yeah, the internet is brutal, man. It's just brutal.
They are.
They're so brutal.
Well, so are game lobbies sometimes too. Yeah. I'm one of those people that gets a little bit worked up if I hear some trash talking, my heart starts to race. Like I said, I don't like to do it. I don't like to deal with it, and being a girl in the gaming world is like a whole nother beast. But yeah, this one has just been overwhelmingly positive. Like everyone's just like so nice on it, and that's cool to see. Like it's cool to see people being able to relate and share their stories too. I actually want to kind of duet it and make another TikTok and be like, I did not expect this response. Like you guys are amazing. I mean, to hear people say that, it kept them off the streets. It kept them from suicide. It kept them, helped them after they lost their mom or they went through a divorce. Like there's so many things that people are dealing with, and it's so freaking cool.
I think it goes back to what we were saying. It's like, it's not that all these people are escaping their problems and not dealing with them and then becoming losers. It's they're using gaming as a tool to help them work through the shit. And I think that's why it resonated, because even though I didn't know, like, I don't think you definitely didn't say whatever that fancy name was for disability in the video, but I didn't know what your disability was. And I don't have, I have really bad hearing, but I don't have like any physical disabilities. Mm-hmm. I could resonate that way because immediately mine went to like, oh yeah, I was in a really dark place. And what game was I playing? Oh yeah, I was playing this, and that was helping me get through this time. When this happened, so-and-so died, or blah, blah, blah. And it just put me into the headspace of all the times I've used gaming to go through a dark time. And I got emotional, like, it's a 10-second TikTok, and I'm like tearing up, but what the hell's going on? It's a good TikTok.
Right. And I think it was cool too. I liked the concept because it showed another part of me where I was crying from laughing so hard because my friends were making like a joke about something that I did in a game. And it's so cool to see those extremes. And that was a genuine laugh that I captured on stream. And I was like, this is going to be a really cool concept, to show people that there's this extreme and there's this extreme. And again, I think a lot more people are like, yeah, my husband games, and I never get it, but this is like helping to explain that too. So it also brought some awareness to like what it can do for other people that other people might not be able to see because they aren't gamers themselves. So
what do you game in mainly these days?
That's tough. A bit of everything. I'm so stuck on COD because all my friends play it. And like I said, I gravitate towards what my friends are doing because I enjoy spending time with them. And again, that might be because I don't do a lot outside of gaming, and I still need to push myself in the real world, in the non-gaming world, but I'm working on that. I also really like scary games, and I like playing solo player games when I stream because I feel like people are there with me. So that's been enjoyable too. We've run some solo player scary games. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game of all time. I played it when I was a kid. Ooh. Yeah. And they remastered those recently for the PC, so I've been kind of hoping to run through those again soon too.
Kingdom Hearts is on PC?
They just added it like, I don't know, a couple months ago, March, I think. you're looking it up. Yeah. Games like that too, when they remaster games or they come out with games that you grew up as a child, like a sequel or whatever, like everyone's excited about the Zelda stuff. I mean, that stuff is huge too, I think, for bringing back positive memories.
They're Epic Store exclusives. That's why I haven't seen them.
They are.
Those
they are.
Motherfuckers.
I know. I'm not a big fan of Epic either, but I did cop them because, like I said, they're my favorite.
I like Kingdom Hearts 2, 1 and 2 a lot. I never played any of like the Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop, like all those side ones.
Well, they all came out on different
handhelds
at the time, different consoles. Yeah, so it was like you couldn't really play them. I'm really connected with the second one a lot. I thought the storyline's all sorts of fucked up, honestly.
Yes, it makes no sense.
It's so hard to follow, but yeah, the second one was huge, and did play the third, but hated it, and never actually. I can't beat the final boss, so it's.
You made it farther than me. I pre-ordered it, steelbook case, super stoked. I played it like an hour, and I was just like, "Fuck this game!" Like I don't know. It just didn't have it. It just didn't have it.
Too much that you could do with the Keyblade within the fight. It didn't feel like I was having to fight. All I did was press
menu
I don't
buttons.
know why.
Yeah.
And then it's like I'm doing something else where I don't have to touch my controller. That was disappointing. And the bosses weren't actual Disney villains. And I loved that they incorporated Disney villains. A lot of them were just heartless. And I was like, that's not really what I want to see. But it is what it is. It happened and it's okay now.
So normally my spiel is well, first we were talking about, normally my spiel is we talk about your favorite games growing up, starting with your first memory of gaming. And normally I try to guess what your first console is, but you gave me a hint already.
Sorry. Yeah.
But it's the PS1, which is my favorite console of all time.
Wow.
Now, I'm a little bit older than you. So the PS1 hit when I was like 9 or 10. So I think the magic age is like 9 to 16 is where like the movies, the games, and the music that sort of sets your foundation up. And for me, PS1 hit like right at that perfect time. But you would have been a little bit younger. How old were you? When
I had PlayStation, I was probably 5 years old. So
what's the first game you remember on the PlayStation?
I was talking about this. It's funny. I was talking about this with somebody, I don't know, on stream or in Discord yesterday. I played Bugs Life and Mary Kate and Ashley, like a Mary Kate and Ashley mall game. And someone was like, I remember that Mary Kate and Ashley game. And I was like, that's wild. It was like one of my favorites. But the Bugs Life one was hard. I don't remember much about it.
I remember both of those. I don't know if it's the exact Mary Kate, because there's I think 1,000 Mary Kate and Ashley games.
I'm sure, yeah. Oh, and Crash Bandicoot too, the original one. I will say that. And they remastered those, and Spyro, and that was also, that was a big...
Was it Magical Mystery Mall?
I think so. I think that was the one.
This looks pretty legit.
It was so fun. It's just like such a girly game to be playing.
I wonder how many of these Mary Kate and Ashley, I bet, even though they're not remembered as legit games from the era, I bet they sold so much.
They probably did.
You had one?
I mean,
yeah,
I did. And I played it. I played the heck out of it. So me and my brother just shared it, I think. And then I was a PlayStation girl for a while, but we had the OG Xbox, and I got the 360. I used babysitting money to get my 360 in middle school.
So did you skip? Because in between PlayStation and Xbox was quite a bit of stuff. Did you go straight? Did you not have a console and you went straight from PlayStation to Xbox? What happened after PlayStation?
I had a PlayStation 2, and we played that a ton. That was what we played Kingdom Hearts on. That was what I think I had Super Monkey Ball. I had all kinds of random games on there. And then, I guess we went right into Xbox, and then never had a lot of Nintendo systems. I played them all at friends' houses, but no GameCubes, no 64s, no... I had a Wii. I got a Wii for Christmas in high school. I skipped out on a lot of Nintendo stuff. And one of my favorite games of all time, besides Kingdom Hearts, is a Nintendo 64 game.
Which is?
Pokemon Coliseum.
Coliseum.
I forget which one it is, but
I thought you were going to say Snap, the camera one.
No, I loved the mini games on the Pokemon. I think it's Pokemon Coliseum. They had mini games, and you could also fight against somebody else as a Pokemon. And I loved it. It was so much fun. I remember playing it at friends' houses and getting a kick out of it. So
yeah, there's also a GameCube one. I didn't know that. I thought there was only a 64 one. Now I'm seeing I didn't get. Or maybe a Pokemon Coliseum is GameCube only. Maybe.
Okay, then it was Pokemon Stadium. Then
oh,
the one I'm
Stadium.
Of. There we go. I get the two confused.
I don't know anything about Pokemon games. I played Red and Blue, and that's all.
Yeah,
I
had the silver one in my color when I was little, but that's about it for me as well.
What's your so Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely the biggest game on PS2. Is there anything that sticks out on PS1 or PS2 that you can remember?
Probably just like Crash and Spyro and playing crap out of those games, and getting frustrated and having my brother. I think my biggest memory too, which we already talked about Kingdom Hearts, but my brother actually beat one. I don't think I touched the controller, but we bought like the guide, and I would like read him the guidebook as he went through it, because it was hard to figure out on your own.
Definitely.
There's so much stuff going on in that game, so we kind of worked through it together, but I always made him play it, and then I would be like in the background helping him. And I was probably in 1st or 2nd grade, and he was in like 3rd or 4th, and we would just tag team that one together. We didn't play a lot other than that. Like when we grew up, we're not super close, so I feel like gaming was a way to keep us closer when we were kids as well.
How many kids in your family?
Just me and him, so the two of us.
That's how I'm not super close with my closest sister either. It's weird. Sometimes that happens. How far apart are you guys age-wise?
We're 2 years. I think just in high school, we were really active in sports and stuff too. And we shared that Xbox 360, but like we weren't playing together when we were playing it. So
Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the really only big one on PS2. And then from PS2, that was Xbox, OG Xbox after that?
Yeah. So I don't know what we were missing in between there, but that's what we did. OG Xbox and then 360. So I was playing Halo 2 on the OG Xbox in middle school.
I was going to ask about Halo because since you like first person,
I love Halo.
Because you haven't mentioned any first person games older than that. Was that the first person game you got into, Halo?
It has to be. That's the only one I can remember. And I had a huge bond with it. Halo 3, I put so many hours in that game. I was so bad at it too. I didn't play CODs when I was in high school. It was just like Halo, and that's it. So I'm really into that.
Do any LAN parties? Hooking up Xboxes together?
Absolutely, yeah. With my guy friends. None of my girlfriends. I actually got them into it a little bit, but they don't play anymore. One of my girlfriends still plays Crash, and they just came out with a new one. So we talked about that a little bit. Crash Bandicoot, the new 4, I think, came out this past year. It was really hard too.
You're not like a trendy gamer girl. You've been a gamer girl since the beginning.
Yeah, I know. And I think people see stuff on TikTok too, and they're like, I've had to come back to some people. I'm like, I've probably been gaming longer than you've been alive at this point. Like, this is just a part of me now. Yeah. So, yeah. And we had like Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution, those things too. So we were doing all kinds of things when I was little.
We're not going to see you doing ASMR recordings in a hot tub.
Oh my gosh. I just had Amaranth on right before this because I sometimes just peek in them. She had a horse hat on. I don't know. I thought that girl got banned for doing something like that. I'm just like in awe at them. We have a joke on my stream, and I've got channel points for a hot tub stream, but it's like 1 million, and I'm like, nobody's ever going to get there. So dream big, guys. Keep saving, but it's a
turn off for me. I don't know if it's like I'm just too old, and it's hard for me to understand the Twitch thing sometimes outside of the community. But like if I see some weird shenanigans, hot tub dress, I just like, I just scroll on by. But it obviously works. It obviously works because these people.
I just think it's pulling a different crowd. Like everybody that says like, oh, hot tub's ruining Twitch, they're like, well, they wouldn't be watching you probably anyway because they're there for that content. It's just interesting. I've also seen girls play Call of Duty in like these skimpiest tops and like have their screen bigger than the game screen. And I'm just like, that's not what I'm here for. I just started streaming really because of what was going on with COVID, and I wanted to just have more friends around it. And it's brought me that. But again, now that COVID's kind of coming to an end, I feel like people around the United States and everywhere are just feeling like, oh, everybody's not playing as much games, which is probably true. They're getting out again, but and I've had people comment on my TikTok and say, they're none of their friends play anymore either because they're getting old. And I just think like you just got to keep looking and joining things like Twitch, jumping in people's chats and finding streamers. I think is a great, if they're small enough. Like I try to play with a lot of my viewers. I really do, and because you need those relationships. And some people,
well, that'll work for now, but you're just going to keep getting bigger if you keep putting out videos.
Yeah,
at some point,
that's tough.
It's not going to be just like feasible to be able to do that.
Right. And when we get there, I don't know what that's going to look like. But there's a streamer that I follow that I really look up to. That's a girl. Her name is Sweet Tails. I don't know. Some people might have heard of her. She does like 1v1 on Sundays. She'll do streams with people. Idea. And pull people in queue and try to get like as many as she can and different ones. So there are still people I think that do stuff like that. It's just going to look a bit more structured. And I'm hoping too, some of the guys in my community already play with one another now. So just even having that where you get into a community and you like the people enough because they all watch one person. So they're all kind of similar in a way. They may be in the same age range and things. They're all playing the same games, and then they can start breaking off and doing their own thing too. And that's also really cool as a streamer or a content creator to see, because it's like, holy crap, like these people also like each other. They're forming friendships within, and that's just what I've wanted all along. And again, coming from the background that I have, the way gaming has shaped me and the way gaming has shaped a lot of people, what I'm trying to build a safe space for people to just come in and have buddies and not feel so alone or whatever they might be feeling.
Have you, I think she's pretty famous. I don't follow Twitch very much at all.
Okay.
So excuse me if this is obvious. There's a girl, I think you pronounce her Crusader,
yeah.
Crusader.
I think that's her name, yeah.
I've seen her on TikTok, and I like her because I don't know how she is recently because I haven't seen anything, but there's no like tube tops. It's just her face. She's actually pretty good. And she's funny, and it didn't seem. It seemed like, oh, this is a girl who's not doing the hot tub style thing.
And that's how Sweet Tails is, and that's why I look up to her too. I've had friends send me videos of Crusader and say that like this is the kind of energy that like they see me giving off as well.
That's what I was going to say. I just didn't know. I knew she was kind of big, and I'm like, God, I don't want to say you remind me of Crusader, and then you're like, I fucking hate that girl.
No. I don't watch her personally, but I know my friends have been like, yeah, she gets shit on by her guy friends too, and all that kind of thing. And that's honestly, when I play with my guy friends, that's all they do is just spend like the whole time bullying me, which is hilarious. And it'll get on my nerves here and there, but like, I think it's funny and I play along, and my community kind of comes at me and teases me too. So it's all in good fun. And so I have heard about her and been maybe compared, but I really look up to Tails more than anyone else.
Check her out. What, Sweet Tails?
Yeah. And she actually just had a clip go viral about talking about the ASMR and hot tub streams and just like the name that it's building for girl gamers and how she's just frustrated with it. So she's a good role model, and you can tell that she cares about her community as well. And that kind of thing. Like, I mean, when you get that big, I'm sure the money is still like a big, like money's never been a thing for me. I'm a full-time dietitian. I didn't start to make money, but I'm sure at a certain point when you get bigger, it does become something that you pay attention to, especially if it's your full-time job, which it is for her. But she cares about her people. She just had like a birthday party stream, and they all sang happy birthday to her, and she started to like cry and talk about her community and stuff. And it made me cry because it was like, this is the coolest thing. This is exactly what I want. This is what I'm trying to build, and how cool that somebody did that and is being a good influence. And she used to wear revealing clothes when she streamed, but she doesn't do that anymore. And people are just there because they freaking love her. And I love that.
I could see that as like a valuable, like maybe if you want to add a little rocket fuel and build the initial build up a little quicker, maybe you can show some revealing clothes and then taper it off. I think that's what she did. That's a valuable strat. That's a valid strategy. I don't have a problem if like a girl's wearing a tube top or something like, but you can know within 10 to 15 seconds if that's the only like selling point they have.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because you'll know in 10 to 20 seconds, are they funny? Are they actually good at the game? Is there anything else besides she's good looking? Because if I want to just look at someone good looking, there's a more efficient ways to do that than watch a streamer. So it's just there's no depth to it. But if it's like, if a girl has all the other stuff and she's good looking, it's just human nature. They're going to grow faster. It's just, it is the way it is. So I don't mind it. I just don't like it when that's the main shebang, like the main like selling point.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. There's a streamer that I've like seen pop up on my page that will make her game really small and her really big, and she's just very
stacked
out there. Yeah, and people are there and watching, and she said that she tried to just play games and do it the one way, and nobody would. She didn't gain a lot of traction there, so now she's going about it this way. I've heard her say that on her stream before. It's just like sad. So she must be one of those people, no offense to her, that maybe doesn't have, it's hard to be a content creator. It's hard to be entertaining for to hold people in a chat and stuff. So
I think you can go that route, but I think what we'll find is the careers. So I don't know what the average lifespan of a content creator is, like how long people can stay relevant, or like bands. I think the difference between someone like her and someone like you, or the Sweet Tails girl, the way you're describing her, is the difference between a one-hit wonder and a band that has a loyal following that can make money over the course of like 2 decades or something.
Right.
Because I think like a lot of the people that are tuning into someone who's only offering like physical appearance, they can find that physical appearance elsewhere. And human nature is to like, you want novelty. You're going to get bored of that physical appearance. Then you're going to go look for the next streamer. And so I think it'll be a lot harder for someone who's gone all in on that being the main selling point to maintain. Like she's moved quicker, but my guess would be if she doesn't transition to something else, she's going to lose it quick too. Yeah.
Which is probably why these girls go from hot tub to ASMR to whatever.
They just keep upping the ante. Yeah.
Yeah. It really has made Twitch a little bit different and made me. I joined right before this was all going on. I started streaming about a year ago or a little under that now. So got my PC in October. So this was all kind of going on like recently. And it is a bummer to see because you're like, don't really want to be associated with all that. And we're not the only, I mean, the people that are doing ads for Twitch are also feeling the same way.
Yeah.
They don't want to be giving ads to
hot tub streams.
Yeah.
And everything comparable. I know, like, again, I'm not like super into the Twitch and I poke around every once in a while. But when I saw the headlines for hot tub streams, like people not making money or demonetizing and all this, like this news coming in, I was just like, dang, what is going on at Twitch? Maybe it's good that I haven't spent that much time at Twitch. Looks like a dumpster fire over there.
Right.
I think that's pretty. So what's your end goal is to be like the Sweet Tails chick. Or by the way, we'll have you talk about all your streams and I'll put all that stuff in the podcast description as well so people can find you. So Halo, I want to go back to the OG Xbox. You didn't play Halo 1 and you said Halo 2, then you said Halo 3.
Yep. So I did not play Halo 1. I played Halo 2. That was the first one that I had.
You gotta try Halo 1. That's the best.
I got it on a Master Chief Collection now, and we actually ran a couple games today with a buddy. I'm not awful at it. Grenades are a lot more powerful in that one than
and the pistol is any other. Yeah, the pistol is the best. That's all I can do.
The balance of weapons is so funny. But yeah, Halo 3 was the one that I spent the most time with, though. That was like right around the heart of my high school time, and spent a lot of time on there with going on like virtual dates. Like I said, I'd meet people in high school and do that, which is so bizarre, but like whatever, we got to do our own thing. And they were always way better than me, so it's kind of funny. And my friends would dabble. That was like right when Xbox Live started coming around too, so I think that made it more appealing to me. Obviously with Halo 2 you'd have people over and you do a split screen, but like it was so much fun to actually be online with people. I don't remember it being so toxic as everyone talks about. They're like, oh, those OG COD lobbies, they're so bad. I don't think I played enough COD to like know that. And I definitely didn't play like Battlefield or anything. Everyone's so excited about that coming out. I'm like, I'll give it a go. I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
I'm not a huge FPS player, but Halo 1 and Battlefield, I think all the gamers are going to get pissed. I'm pretty sure it's Battlefield 2, not the... Bit of Battlefield 2, yeah. I got really into this random Counter-Strike mod called Day of Defeat. That's like the only FPS. And we would go to this college dorm room. I had a friend that worked for the computer science lab, and he had a key to get into the computer lab, and we would do these huge LAN parties. I wanted to ask, so after Halo 3, is it was there anything out on Xbox, and did you stick with FPSs? And if so, what was the next FPS that you got into?
So I would say I probably got Red Ring right around that time, and then that was my big break, the dark ages of when I wasn't gaming. I brought my PlayStation 2 to college, but it didn't really get much playtime, and the only time I played FPSs was when I was going over to people's houses to run Halo. I'd play more Halo. That's the only thing. I missed it so much. I kind of missed Destiny 1. I think I would have been into that. I played a lot of Destiny 2, like in the past couple of years when I was sick too. That was a really big game that we were into for about a year, me and my buddies. So
have you kept up with all the, because I stopped playing after the third DLC.
Yeah, sorry, I'm taking a bite of food. I haven't kept up with everything right now. It's too hard. It's a game that you do have to keep up with, so it's so difficult to stick with that. And yeah, I haven't been great about that. That's what makes it unappealing to me sometimes, is like I don't want to get back in and have to go through everything and try to build myself up again, get that light level up. It's just a constant grind. So it is what it is. Yeah, I guess that whole time was just like a whole lot of nothing as far as games goes. And I was a college athlete and in a sorority, which is so different from what gaming is. And I feel like had I been like telling my sorority sisters I was a gamer, I don't know. I don't know if they would have, I don't think they would treat me differently, but I don't think they would have been like, cool, let's go play. So
I'm wondering, it kind of sounds like maybe when I was a kid, I was definitely teased about being a gamer. Like it was nerdy to be a gamer. Now as an adult, especially if you're a male, everybody games. Gaming is bigger than movies and music combined. But it still sounds like there's a stigma. I mean, obviously there is, you tell me, because I don't know what it's like to be a girl. It sounds like when you were younger, you were definitely, it was weird. You didn't want to tell your girlfriends that you were gaming. Do you still feel like it's weird to tell people, or has it loosened up a little bit? Is it easy?
I think it's loosened up a little bit. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think it's loosened up a little bit, and it's a little bit easier to talk about, especially when someone's like trying to do something with it. But I don't have any of my friends following my gaming Instagram or anything like that. Like they don't get it. I try to explain that to them, and they're still kind of like, cool. I don't know what's going on, but this looks cool. Like,
aren't video games with all the loser boys too? Well, okay, cool. Yeah.
I think being a nerd is cool these days.
It
so
is.
I don't think anything like that is offensive. And obviously a lot of dudes think it's cool. So I have more guy friends than I have girlfriends right now. I will say that I get along so much better with guys. I always have. And yeah, there is the list of them is like long and the list of girls is like short, which is just, it's fine. It is what it is.
Like you'd have to be if you're going to be playing on, dude, online gaming lobbies. Sometimes I'm like, this is too much for me. And I don't have to, I wouldn't. And I know for girls, it's way worse. I know I'm only getting a sliver of what it could be. Yeah. And as you get bigger online with TikTok and stuff too, I'm sure it's going to get crazy. It does seem like I know it's loosened up for me where people who you don't think would be into gaming, they find out you do gaming content, or I do a lot of MMA and jiu-jitsu training. And when a lot of those guys find out like, oh, you have a gaming podcast? That's cool. I want to listen to it. And I think 10 years ago, if you were at the same gym doing the same activities, people wouldn't be like, they'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So, yeah. I
think it's gotten more accepted and just like a general like cooler thing to be a part of. But there's still some games and some things out there that I think still have a lot of stigma around them. And I just think what makes you happy is what makes you happy. Like a lot of those card games, I feel like people still look at like that's another step of nerdiness. But I mean, it's similar to what we're all doing. So I don't know why you're judging people for getting into what they love. They're still building a community. They're doing what they want to do. So
I don't know. I'm playing old JRPGs from 1995. It's pretty dorky.
I have nothing. I've seen everything. I've got members of my community playing Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. I'm just like, do what makes you happy. Like I've never gotten into that personally, but I'm not gonna judge anybody for what is bringing them happiness and joy.
Is there any single player games that you've really got into and impacted you that sucked you in the way a multiplayer game has?
That's tough. It's got to just be like Crash and Spyro just because of the childhood aspect and how much I love them as a kid. And I was playing those when I was sick too. I was running through the remastered Crash. But other than that, not as much. I'm not one of those people, I guess, which is kind of a bummer because I know there are a lot of, and like Kingdom Hearts and all those, but there's a lot of people that really thrive off of those. I don't think I was playing the right ones either, maybe, Yeah. Like maybe if I had some recommendations from people, I would have been better off with those. I'm not sure.
What single player games have you been playing on stream? You mentioned you play them on stream sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of scary ones. So we dabbled with Little Nightmares 1 and 2. I've done Detroit Become Human, or I'm kind of in the middle of that one.
How's that? I've been curious about that game.
It's wild. It's really intense, but it's really good. I have not finished it. And people actually don't like to watch me stream those as much. I don't know why. It's a choose your own adventure, and the things go really fast. I want my chat to help me, and they go fast. And there's another game like that, Man of Medan, which we're running, and that's the same thing. It's like choose your own adventure, but I have to make decisions so quickly that they can't really help me, and I'm bad at decision making, so I'm killing people left and right.
I played older games by then. That's right. There's like these timed events where press square for this, press triangle for that, and if your streams, there's not enough time.
No. Yeah. And we're doing It Takes Two right now too, which is I recommend that game to anybody. This is the most fun I've had in a video game in years. It's a blast. Two? Yeah, it's a co-op game, so you do have to have a partner to play it, but it's like dual screened, and I picked a guy from college to play it with me that one of my buddies, and we're having so much fun. It's so well done. The company that made it, like, I have nothing but good things to say about it.
It looks like a Pixar movie almost.
It's kind of childish looking.
Yeah. I've never heard of this. This looks awesome. It's got 1.3 million views. It's from EA. Dang. Yeah, they're like dolls. Little Big Planet almost.
They're dolls, yeah.
Yeah.
The parents are getting a divorce, and they get transformed into dolls to like figure their shit out. I don't know. I haven't finished it, so I don't know the ending yet. Yeah. So I can't even spoil it if I wanted to. It's a long game too. Like average playing time, 18 hours maybe.
Okay. That's a long game. That's a short game.
Well, for people that probably do more solo players, yeah, I'm sure it is.
When I was a kid buying JRPGs, if it wasn't 60 hours, get it out of here. I don't want to.
Well, you want your money's worth for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never did any of those like Skyrim or any of those things, but I mean, I'm always down to try new things. And like I said, now that I'm streaming, I feel like I'm playing those games with other people. So with Little Nightmares, I get a lot of help from chat because it's a puzzle game, and I just sit there and I'm like, that's probably why I don't like them either. I don't know what I'm doing in half of them. Like I get so confused or frustrated. They make me rage more than Call of Duty does. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? My brain just like shuts off. I'm like, I don't know what the next step is.
I've noticed that people generally are either a single player gamer or a multiplayer gamer. There's not a huge overlap, and I think it is because multiplayer gaming is so much more like, I don't know how to, like, engaging in the sense of just constant action. It's always fast. You always have people talking. There's like no dead time. Whereas a single player game, you'll be stuck in a puzzle. And if you're used to this like crack cocaine of fun, which is sometimes you don't want to sit back and take 40 minutes to figure out how to get through one door.
Right.
It's just not. It's just different style.
It's slower paced for sure.
Very slow.
But I'm into it, and I did like reach out to my community about any solo player games. They want me to run through all the Resident Evils and that in October.
Those are good scary ones.
Down to try it. Yeah.
The Resident Evil 2 remake is one of the best remakes I've ever played.
Wow. That's a bold statement, but I like to hear it.
Yeah, it's very good. It just came out like 2 years ago. There is a semi-remake. There's a remastered version of the GameCube remake, which is a remake of the PS1 original Resident Evil 1. So you can get the GameCube remake remaster on PC, which is the best way to play Resident Evil 1. But they did a proper Resident Evil 2 remake, like modernized it, everything, like a couple of years ago. It's very good.
Okay. I'll have to give it a shot. Good. But yeah, I was going to wait till October for that because scary, spooky season. I love October for that reason because scary games are already kind of my thing anyway. So as long as I can make them more
keeps talking about this game called Phasmophobia or
Phasmophobia. We play that one too. Yeah. That's a blast. Ghost hunting with and it's a multiplayer, so it's really fun. It's super interactive. There's another one called In Silence where it's based on like voice, which I'm terrible at because I'm a really loud person. In Silence, just
In Silence game.
Yeah.
Oh, this looks creepy as hell.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot more scarier than Phas, I think. But you can have somebody play the hunter or like the killer thing, so that's kind of cool too. In Phas, you don't have that option to have someone be the one to be the spooker. So getting a good group together, and we play Dead by Daylight a lot on stream too. Which is also kind of like a strategy, but it's a multiplayer game again. I love multiplayer games, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard for me to sometimes when someone's like a pure multiplayer gamer, it's like, damn, all I have is Halo. Borderlands 2.
I love Borderlands, yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of Borderlands 2. I had a good memory where my my brother and my wife tag teamed for my birthday, and I got work off. My wife found an Xbox 360 to borrow. My brother bought me Xbox, whatever, 3-month membership.
Yeah.
Over the course of
Game Pass
4-day weekend, we blasted through Borderlands 2 co-op.
That's crazy.
It was like the coolest birthday present I've ever had. It was awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that for you.
I don't have a ton of...
I've heard Borderlands 2 is like one of the best games too. It's like up there. People say.
I got Borderlands 3. I loved Borderlands 2 so much I got Borderlands 3 at launch. And much like Kingdom Hearts 3, it just, I don't know.
Disappointed a little bit.
Wasn't the same. I don't know. The writing in Borderlands 2 is good.
Yeah. I started with the third one, and I actually have played through a little bit of the second, but I'm not finished with it. That's another one that I want to do like on stream, but I just haven't. The problem is I buy so many games, and then I end up like playing COD a bunch or doing something that my friends are doing. So
when you play COD, are you mainly doing Warzone or the other ones?
I do Warzone and I do Search, which I'm new to Search, and it's not my favorite because of the trash talking. But we're working on that. That's probably one of the most toxic lobbies that you can put yourself into, especially as a girl. Would not recommend that as like with Warzone, at least my team is just like who I'm talking to. And Search, you get to the like break screen and everyone can talk to each other, and they're, for whatever reason, they do not accept girls as much there. So that's probably like the meanest. I've had people like troll me. I've got TikTok in my clan tag, which I might take out soon. They've come to my TikTok and just like started hating on me and like take it off the game. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But
you don't want them to track you down from the game and then spam your comments. And
yeah.
I wonder why that is. Like, I don't understand. Like, why can't girls play games?
I have no idea.
I don't get it. Like if they're, in my mind, it's like, if you're good and you're funny, I don't give a fuck if you're a horse. Like
Right.
I just, if you're good and you're funny and you're fun to hang out with, it's just, I don't get it. I don't know if it's like young kids. Cause I've heard this from a handful of different girls that I've talked to that, man, people just get mad that I'm a girl. Just,
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Maybe are they only like 8-year-old boys? Like, no, adults get mad at me. Like, really? I can see little kids. Oh, you're a girl, but like grown men get mad that a girl's playing the game. I don't get it.
It's just weird. I don't know I think they're just trying to take out their energy, and it's something new, and maybe it's their way of just, again, if someone's getting mad about somebody or at something, I just feel like you got something going on. When I was getting really badly trolled on TikTok from somebody, I was just like, they super messaged me on Instagram. They were taking it so many places, and I was just like, what's going on with you? Like, are you okay? Because if you're coming at me this much, this isn't coming from a place. Yeah. And I try to kill it with kindness and just be nice to the people, because maybe that's what they need. Again, we're all going to games to tie it back in. Like, we're all there for some reason. So I'm just trying to make sure that if something serious is going on, that people feel.
Do you mess with Apex at all?
I have, yeah. That was before Warzone. That was like my big game too. I kind of serial play games, so if I get really into something, my friends are all playing it. I that's why Rainbow Six Siege has. Of course, I was off work and not as well, but that's why it's got 72 days on it and is my highest playing game on my console, because that's all I'll play for days and days on end.
What's your best online like brag gaming moment where you like your best play you've ever made?
That's hard to think about, because there's not a lot.
There's got to be something.
I had some clutch moments in some battle royales where I've pulled off some dubs and wiped teams. I've got a couple clips here and there. I'm trying to think of any specific moments, but it's,
maybe you could think of the opposite. Like, when have you fumbled the ball the worst and just wanted to bury your head in shame, give up gaming?
Probably every day. No, I'm just kidding. No, I tend to, my friends don't let me drive cars in Warzone that much, or helicopters. I tend to just run them into things, and we end up blowing up or getting C4'd or something ridiculous. So they just kind of say, there's a couple TikToks on my page about that too. And it's just me blowing up a car, and they're like, nope, you're never driving again. That's terrible. So that'd probably be, I'm not good at driving in real life. I always make the sexist joke there. I'm like, all right, girls can't drive cars. I can't do it off the game. I can't do it in the game.
There is
bad drivers.
I used to volunteer at the school for helping people park. And there is a slight correlation. I would say 60%, more women who just couldn't do what they were told. You need to park here, don't park there. It was not as bad as people make it out to be, but I did notice I probably told over 4,000 or 5,000 cars over the course of 2 years where to park. Right. And I'm
bad at driving.
There's something to it.
Yeah, I don't deny it. I'd much rather have a dude drive me around, and I just be the passenger. I'm not good at it. So
one of my dreams, if I ever get super rich, is I just Uber everywhere. I don't like driving at all. Just
I hate it too.
Yeah. Is there I guess there might be Kingdom Hearts. There's not a ton of single player games. Usually I ask what's the most emotional you've gotten in a game, inferring that the game made you emotional. But maybe for you, what's the most emotional moment you've had gaming in general? I will say, when I did play the remastered of Kingdom Hearts and the music started coming back on, for one, they've got those opening cutscenes. I was playing it on stream and I did tear up. It just, again, it strikes a chord. It's something that you were doing as a kid, and to have it come back full circle is whoa. But I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can think of gaming wise that was super. I've had a lot of heart to hearts with people and my friends, and just anytime we get into kind of our feelings and we're like, hey, you guys really mean a lot to me. I think I've told the two guys that I started playing with before, I've had a slight conversation. They're kind of jackasses and they blow it off and they don't want to be in tune with their feelings. But I've been like, you guys don't know how much you guys have really meant to me. Yeah. And how much gaming with you has changed my whole outlook on what is going on. I don't want to live anymore sometimes, and I'm struggling through it. And at the time, and you guys just gave me something to look forward to every day. Yeah. So I would say those moments, the relationships and what people are doing for each other is just so big. And and anything that I see comment wise on my TikToks and stuff too. Like I said, that stuff is
when people tell me that my streams mean a lot to them or they like my content too, I get really emotional. I just had a guy actually gift me, an anonymous person. I think I know who it is though. I'm not going to lie, but an anonymous person gift me over 277 subs on stream. After I'd been working my ass off with TikToks and content. This stuff is hard. I never knew how hard it was. And I just started, I mean, I still have the VOD and I have a video on my TikTok and my Instagram. I'm just sobbing. Like I just couldn't believe it. And it's so nice to have random surprises like that. And I just, I was a hot mess.
A really dumb question. And it shows you how much I don't understand Twitch.
Yeah.
How does someone gift you subs?
So they just put a lot of money out, and then all those subs will go to people that are watching your channel or following you. And so
a sub means a subscriber, right?
Yeah. So they'll just give my community a bunch of subscriptions. So they'll go out to whoever's in it.
You have to pay to what? You have to pay to watch you? I thought, is there like tiers?
Well, it's so you can follow, and that's for free. You can watch and just be a follower, and that's really all I care about mostly. I've only had follower goals. And then subbing is just kind of showing your support for that streamer and going the extra mile, and some people have perks with doing that. And there are tiers, 1, 2, and 3.
It's like Patreon. I can like pay $1 a month, and I get some sort of extra perk if I'm subbing. If I sub to you, you pay. Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know shit about Twitch. I'm sorry, guys. There's people that are like, you fucking idiot. Hey, it's a gaming pod.
I didn't know about it until I started doing it myself. Like I keep it on all the time when I work now, like in the background, because I work from home full time, and I'll have it on all day. But I never watched people. I still don't understand things. People have like all these terminology, like they say things on there like poggers, and I don't know what that stuff means. I mean, I say it sometimes as a joke, but I don't know what I'm saying when I say it.
It sounds provocative.
Yeah, but I really, and it's cool and once you start doing it too, I think you start watching other people because you're like, what are these people doing that is keeping everybody engaged? You know, what can I be doing better? And there's some really cool streamers out there, like I said, that I've looked up to, and you know, I might end up at a TwitchCon in one of the lines trying to meet him now because I like it that much. So yeah, it's just different when you're actually on the other side of things, I think, too.
So aside from the girl you mentioned earlier was like something Sweet Tails.
Yeah.
Besides her, what are like 5 other Twitch streamers you could recommend to me and the people listening if they want to check someone out that you think is pretty cool?
Tim the Tatman is amazing. I would say he's one of the bigger like
Tim the
Warzone
Tatman?
streamers. Tim the Tatman, like tattoos. Hang on, I got to plug in my computer. It's on low.
Tim the Tatman.
Yep.
He looks cool.
He has been streaming for a while and also built up his community really well. He plays with Nick, Mercs, and Closey, which are also Warzone streamers, but they primarily do Warzone, but Nick and Tim will open up their streams with like just talking, and they'll do podcasts. Tim does actually $25 donos, and he gives like shout outs and stuff and says stuff. And he's a really cool guy. I like need to pull up my Twitch to figure out who else I follow. It depends on what you're looking for too. I have a streamer that I watch that plays Fortnite. His name's Action Man, and he was a former heroin addict. So he's kind of crazy and he does a lot of rages, but his story is really cool too. And I resonated with that a little bit. Not that I ever
goes on big rants.
He'll like punch his wall. He's like kind of crazy.
I typed in Action Man on YouTube, and the first word.
It's AC7. Yeah.
The first word was Action Man Rage.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
It's crazy. But the fact that he was on heroin for 10 years, got himself clean, and is still here and living. And he does a really good job of keeping people engaged. He does fills with Fortnite, and he's hilarious talking to people. So we found him because he was doing a hot tub stream in a bathtub. And he's like, he's very, very high. He's allowed to do that because he lives in Chicago. He's smoking on stream. And me and my friends found it one night, and we were like, what is this? This is the funniest thing
I smoke
we've
a lot
ever
of
seen.
weed, but I'm also like, I don't ever show it in a TikTok or Instagram because I thought you can't show it.
TikTok's worse with TOS, but Twitch, I think if it's legal in your state, you're fine. So if you turn on his stream right now, you'll probably catch him. He's got his whole long in frame, and he's ripping it. So there's that. I'm trying to think of who else I follow that's pretty. I mean, Jordy2D's in the Call of Duty streamer. He was the Sonic guy. He would wear the Sonic head, and he's kind of funny. He does some weird things. I resonate more with like the funny people than just people who are playing good. But I follow a few phase people because I like watching good streamers as well. It's just what you're looking for. I'm trying to think of like who other people watch. I'm actually kind of like he adds people on Snapchat. So I've had conversations with him about like content creating and Twitch before. He's pretty big on TikTok as well, but for different reasons, just for these ridiculous clips that he has. It's insane. But he also went on a podcast that a bigger gaming podcast. I don't know. I forget the name of it, and talked about his story. And I was just like, I was so intrigued by it. I was just blown away. I was like, this is so cool.
I do like comeback stories.
Yeah.
He's got like all of these Action Man rage moment compilations.
Yeah, he has like anger problems when it comes to games for sure.
No, my question is though, just like watching it, if I didn't know the backstory or the heroin, all that stuff, and I just saw this guy, I would assume this is like his angle, like his shtick, and that.
I think it is though. I think so. He says like, "Oh, the game makes me do it," and I wish I wasn't like this, but I feel like he's using it like it's his thing, like it's his MO.
Yeah.
Like if he didn't do it, I feel like people would be like. And he started with Halo and went to Fortnite, and that's all. He's solo. He just streams Fortnite. He's had a lot of success with that, and he hates it apparently, but he doesn't want to lose what he's got, so he keeps it going. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like maybe I think a lot of these people, like they have some sort of quirk about their personality that does make them interesting. That's what it's about. You got to be yourself.
Right.
But then you lean into it because it's what people find interesting about you. And I'm just watching these compilations and it's like, I think he's leaning into this a little bit. Like he's got this wall that's all torn down and insulation's coming out. And he could probably fix that if he wanted.
Well, he got a new place that has like a dummy wall. So that's what he's been punching lately. But his old place, which are some of the clips I'm sure from there, it was a mess. It was. And that's the other thing. So when we found him doing the hot tub stream or the shower tub stream.
I like him for that already.
It was so funny. We were crying, laughing. We were just going through the hot tub streams at the time and trying to find one, like just make fun of these women. And we see this like he's 31 years old, I think, or something. He's just sitting in his shower, like, oh my gosh, we were just crying. But after we found him there, we were like, oh wow, his walls are really messed up, and he gets really intense. But he's a cool dude, and he's doing something for himself. And comeback stories. So that's been a great one. And then, like I said, Tim is just funny because he's pretty big. He's probably one of the bigger Twitch streamers like of all time. And then, like I said, Sweet Tales, Crusader's great. I don't know. If
Bill Gates came to you, it was like, I want to pay you whatever money you need to make the greatest FPS game ever. What would you make? What would you combine? What games would you pull inspiration from? In your opinion, how would you make the greatest FPS game?
I'd probably make it Kingdom Hearts-esque. I love this Disney. I'm not a huge Disney person, but I'd probably pull some kind of like, if I could get characters from the movie scenes or like you know how Fortnite's incorporated a lot of Marvel, and I love Star Wars too. I guess there are Star Wars games that exist. I've played some of them, but if I could somehow combine all these characters and like make some kind of shooter game. Would you do it like
Overwatch, where it's like each character is like has like a class and you
like
pull
a
from
type
Disney?
Of power? Yeah, that would be so sick. Now that I never have thought about this until you asked this question. And now that it's like formulating in my mind, I'm like, okay, here, Bill, take my money. Like, I will tell you what to do with it. This is my idea.
Is that how I've never played Warzone. Is it, they're like different classes and specialties, or is it just you have your loadout and it's just skills?
It's just straight. You got your loadout, it's skills, and there's new meta and OP guns like every other week. But Apex is the way that you're describing, which you might know that already. And then, Rainbow Six Siege has that aspect too, and I feel like there's another game that I'm missing besides Overwatch and that. Oh, Valorant, I think is
Valorant,
the same thing.
yes.
I've never played Valorant, so I don't know much about it, but I think it's that same aspect where you have power. And I like that some characters have something unique with them. I think it's a cool concept. I wish Warzone did more with it, but Warzone is the way that it is. And if Halo made a BR, but they're probably not going to, which sucks. But
I think they said Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be free and separate from the single player, like two separate games.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like, I wonder if they're going to have, because you could do like a class-based system in the lore of the game. There's all these different Spartans that have different, you could definitely do it. I don't think they will though. That's like that team-based style it's almost like its own genre. Isn't there a name for that? The genre that Overwatch is? It's called a team shooter or something. I think there's a term.
Maybe I don't know it because I also don't play Overwatch, but there probably is some kind of terminology for that as well.
Let's see. What style of game is Overwatch? There's a term. Overwatch is a team-based shooter. Yeah, it's like
okay.
I think Team Fortress was like the ones that started that. Valve, I think Team Fortress was the might be the OG team shooter. Someone's gonna message me in anger and tell me how wrong I am. Sweet. Well, I can't really think of anything else, so I don't have a ton like I can connect with because I don't know that much. I didn't even know you could give people subs on freaking Twitch. What's I guess so. If you're someone like me and I wanted to get into Twitch, what would be your like 5 pieces of advice if I want to start diving down the Twitch rabbit hole?
Sure. First, use other socials to your advantage. I would most likely suggest TikTok, and I could go on a bunch of rants of what to do with that. But TikTok is going to be huge for pulling people. Most of the following that I've gained has come from there. Like the accessibility, or I don't even know if that's the right word. Getting noticed on Twitch when you don't have a lot of viewers is very, very hard. So building your viewers throughout some other method is going to be key. I'd also say having something that makes you stand out, like that brands you, like that you want your stream to be about. I've used nutrition in the past to kind of build that up for me. I'm a dietitian, so I've done nutrition streams and things like that. So
you're saying like you do streams where you're not even gaming, you just talk about nutrition?
You just chat about things, yeah. And I think like some people really, you put emphasis on mental health or do other things, which I've done that as well. I tried to do that. I'd also say networking is huge. So talking to other Twitch streamers, other gamers, jumping in streams, supporting people, kind of having that small streamer support and making friends that way. You said 5 things and I've only listed 3. Play a game that you love, like regardless, like you don't want to be forced into playing something you don't like. There are apps that can tell you like, oh, play this game and it's the best for viewership, but you don't want to be playing a game that you don't enjoy playing. And just don't get discouraged, I would say too, because it's really easy. There's a lot that it might take a while for you to build up. It might take a while for you to get noticed on TikTok. It might take a while for all that, but you can't give up on it. You gotta do it because you love playing video games, not because you're trying to make it necessarily. Yes. So
people can sniff it out if you're not genuine.
Well, I don't even know if it's that, but you'll just probably get angry and want to quit,
Yeah.
Because again, it takes a while. Even as a girl, like who, girls have it easy on Twitch or whatever, they might say, I've been streaming for a little under a year now and I just hit 1,000 followers today. It doesn't necessarily come easy. And this is after I've been putting in a lot of work with TikTok and that and networking and all that stuff. So I've been doing those things and trying to figure it out. It just takes some time. You just gotta be patient.
I agree with the TikTok thing. I've been ranting to every guest that comes on that does some sort of gaming content, and most of them that I've brought on, I would say the vast majority, 90-something% of them don't have a TikTok. And I'm like, hey, man, I've been posting the same shit on TikTok and Instagram for like 2 years. My TikTok is 100x bigger than my Instagram. It's just way more kind. Like, and I don't even stream. I mean, I record myself playing games. I don't stream it. And then basically my steal is I get super drunk. I play old games and I just talk shit. And maybe in a 2-hour session, I'll have like 1 10-second funny moment that I can put onto TikTok or something. It's done really, really well for me. And people just like, there's still this stigmata of like TikTok is bad and for little kids. And I will warn them. I'll say, okay, just so you know, because you're going to get on TikTok. And for the first month, all you're going to see is underage girls in bikinis.
Dancing. Yep.
It's like, don't worry about it. Just scroll on by. Start interacting with shit you like. Eventually, it will figure out what you're into, and that will fade away.
Yep. Absolutely.
You just got to get through that. Like, you got to let the Chinese, the algorithms
figure out what you like,
spy on your whole life and figure out what you like. And once they spy on your whole life, I mean, my TikTok is like, it's so dangerously good. I mean, it will be like a gaming clip. Then it'll be like, oh, you like jujitsu and MMA. Oh, you like snowboarding. Oh, you like comedy. Oh, you like gaming. And it's just going to cycle through, and it's too good. It's too good. I always get tarot card readings when right after I've gone through a breakup or someone's dumped me. And then it's like, it's like, but they're like, oh, he's coming back. Don't worry. This is what we're going to say. And I'm like, damn you. It's never any other time either. Literally, I've only ever seen them like when I'm upset about something. And I'm like, this is too weird. Like, and then I'm like, oh, it is a sign because they don't come up any other time. And I'm like, no, that's
stop.
Interesting. I've never seen a tarot card reading, but I do.
No one else has.
Really? Yeah, I've never seen one.
I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I'm like one of the only ones. And I get them. But again, after like really life-changing events or something that happens, it's like, here's these cards and telling me my future. I'm like, damn it.
I really do think, jokes aside, I mean, I think TikTok does gather a lot of information outside of your usage on the app. That's why it's so good, though. It's like it's catch-22.
Right.
They're stealing more of your data than other apps, but that's also why it's way better at knowing what you like and what you want to. Well, I almost wouldn't say knowing what you like. It knows what's going to keep your attention, which isn't always a good thing, because these social media apps can keep your attention with things that are negative. That's another way to keep you on platform. So I have to be careful. Like, I'll find myself, I'll be in line or something, like I'll watch a couple TikTok videos, and then 15 minutes later, it's like, oh shoot. Yeah. I need to be productive. 20 minutes later. Yeah. But it's good. I agree. Like, if I were to, I'm not trying to do the Twitch thing, but I would say if you're going to create any sort of gaming content, I think it's because TikTok has grown so much that I think the demand and the supply haven't equalized yet. And there's a lot of people I know that, I started making stuff on TikTok. I've been on Instagram, and all of a sudden my TikTok's bigger than my Instagram in a month. And I've been on Instagram for 3 years. I'm like, I told you.
Yeah. There's a guy too that I follow, or a couple people that'll give tips for streamers on TikTok and other things. And it's just crazy that if you, the more often you post, the more likely you are to go viral and things. I'll do posts and I'm like, this is a really good one, and nothing happens. And then I'll post one like I did yesterday, and then it's like, it blows up, and I'm like, I didn't expect that at all. The one that I posted a while back that went viral, it's almost at 1 million views. I really didn't think anything of it. I was scared to post it. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna do.
What was that video? What was the context of that video?
So it was a stitch with another video, and it was like, name something that you find attractive that's like non-sexual. And I was like, I really think it's attractive when guys can hit quick scopes. So I had all kinds of comments flooding in.
I can see why that did good.
Yeah, but I meant it from my heart. Like, I wasn't even joking. And it was just crazy. I had a lot of bigger, streamer people too, not huge, but bigger guys comment on it as well, which was really cool to see. It's just crazy because you can find celebrities on there. You might be on their For You page someday. You know what I mean? These people that I look up to in the gaming world are commenting on my stuff, and that wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for, I don't know, TikTok's just such a cool app, and you're not going to get that with other apps, I don't think. So I don't know. I was in shock seeing some of these names pop up, or this person has played with this person before and I love them. And I'm like, it just makes the world so much smaller, and it was just insane to see. So yeah, that was the first one that went big time. And I was like, come on. And then of course, like I said, I didn't really do my makeup well and all that kind of thing. People are commenting physical stuff. And I'm like, if I would have known this would have reached so many people, then I would have tried to look a little better. Jeez. Sorry.
They can be rough. There's a kid that had a facial deformity, and he was responding to some comments, and then I went into the comment section, and I was just like, damn. It's weird. You can be you can find community, and you can also just find misery. Well,
there's a lot of people out there that are just, again, they might have something wrong with themselves, and they're just going on TikTok to... I had a guy comment on my post yesterday, and he's like, I usually go on TikTok to troll people and tell them, mean things and laugh at them. And he's like, for once, I don't want to do this. This is really wholesome. I'm like, gee, thanks. I'm glad.
Maybe you should try that more often. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be your goal? So did you start streaming as, obviously you didn't start it to quote, make it be a full-time. You had a full-time job. You said you're married, right?
I'm not married. No,
I thought you just said
I'm just
my
27.
Husband.
No,
you said something about your husband for sure.
I didn't mean to, because I'm not married.
Maybe you were joking. Because you kept making these.
I probably was joking.
You were making these breakup jokes, and then you said something about a husband. So I was like,
no, and then
and then you were talking about tarot cards. It only comes up, and then I was like, did she get divorced? Do I ask her about if she got divorced?
No. I'm 27 and just very single. Again, getting sick in a pivotal time of everybody kind of finding the ones has made things difficult. And I just get way too nervous to date. I don't know. It's just not been working out for me. And now I'm putting all my effort into streaming and all that kind of stuff. So I don't even have a lot of time to do it anymore.
The reason I asked is I was thinking okay, if what's your end goal with streaming? You said you didn't start, as a job, but if things continue to go that direction, has your mind shifted? And are you thinking maybe I'm going to keep doing this streaming thing and maybe it's going to go somewhere?
Yes, I probably would never go full time because I love helping people. I love being a dietitian. That's my first probably true love. But I could see myself going part time with my job and then more time streaming. I don't know if I'd be full time at that point, but but I could see myself cutting down on my regular job if that were the case. But I really love working and I love what I'm doing. Like it's great. I won't say the company that I work for, but I do help change lives, I feel like, every day and have an impact on people with their health.
So I thought you were like a freelance, people hired you, but you work for a company doing product design?
Yeah. No, I health coach. I help them with their diabetes prevention program. So I'm working with people and helping them preventing getting diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
How do I not get diabetes? Tell me. Because I don't want diabetes.
Honestly, weight loss and staying active. Activity is a big thing. And then just keeping your weight under control.
It's not sugar? I thought it was related to like too much sugar.
So it can be, but weight loss is the biggest way to decrease it from happening. So I would say just stay healthy and stay active and you'll probably be fine. Some of it's a little bit genetic too. So you can't always help what the risk factors are, but that's what we primarily do is help keep people active, help them getting to lose weight. And carbohydrates play a role in influencing your blood sugar, but it's not like the end all be all. I mean, sugars are gonna make you bigger anyway. You're gonna put on weight if you're consuming a lot of added sugar. So I guess it does, it all kind of coexists. But
what seems to be the most success? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
What seems to be the most successful advice that you give people to lose weight? Because that's like thing that like everyone's been talking about for 100 years, trying to, you know what I mean?
My big spiel with it all is portion control. I swear to God, if everybody ate smaller portions, even if it was of the unhealthy stuff, we'd be in a lot better boat. But America is built on these massive fucking meals and we're just eating way too much at a time. And I'm pretty small myself and I would attribute it to portion control because I'm not the healthiest person there is out there. I eat a lot of, I dine out a lot and I get a lot of fast food. I don't like all fast food. I would say like Chick-fil-A, like a little higher class fast food in my opinion, not your McDonald's and that.
I would say Chick-fil-A is a tier above McDonald's. I would agree.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A, Jimmy John's, I get like, I don't know, I get Cane's sometimes, stuff like that. It's just like a little, not your nuggets where you don't know where they're coming from. But yeah, portion control is my biggest thing that I preach to people. Is there
something you preach as like what can you eat to manage cravings so you don't over portion, you don't overeat? Do you get
aspartame leads to a lot of cravings. So I tell people artificial sweeteners can cause you to crave more things, which is ironic, which is found in like, all your diet drinks and that. Cravings are tricky though, because it's like, do you find alternatives to manage them? Do you eat things in moderation and hope that satisfies the craving? The more you try to say, I'm not going to eat something, the more you want to eat it. So you do need to like find a balance between eating all these things. If I say I'm never going to eat chocolate again, that feels really restrictive. My brain's going to be like, go get some chocolate, But yeah, it's just like finding what works best for that person. I don't think there's like a right answer for dieting or weight loss for every single
I was hoping you're going to give me the silver bullet. I train hard, but man, I just get hungry and then I just eat. And I'm afraid of when I get old and as I get older and I can't train as hard, I'm worried about because I won't be able to just train hard and whatever. I'll just train hard and eat whatever I want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been able to control. I call it the demon. Sometimes I get this demon and I can just eat and I don't get full. I can just
It could be something with sleep. It could be something with stress. It could be something with water intake. There's a lot of other things that are influencing hunger cues than just being hungry. So it's something to look into with that too.
Well,
sleep is huge for hunger cues.
Yeah, I've been hearing more on different podcasts about the importance of sleep and learning. I've been going down the rabbit hole of like, how do I get better at the things that I'm trying to get better at faster? I'm only getting older and dumber. And there's been a lot of people talking about you need to focus on something very heavily, wear yourself out, and then you need to sleep on it. And that's how skills are acquired.
Interesting.
Yeah. I've been hearing about the importance of sleep more and more. So I should probably think about that.
Look into it.
Sweet. Where can people find you online?
Tayzgg is pretty much what I go by on everything.
Oh, I was going to ask you, where did that name come from? Because it's some sort of acronym of your name, but how did you come up with that name?
So Tayzgg is a name that a lot of my friends have called me for a long time, probably just because it's really easy to say and like Jay-Z, Tayzgg, I don't know. Rolls off the tongue, but the GG, I had a really weird Twitch name before, and my friends were like, you got to shorten it, you got to make it something better. And GG is something that people say in gaming world for good game. So, and I also am like kind of that person. I don't want toxic vibes. I want everyone to feel like they're in a good spot when they're gaming with me or wherever. So that's kind of just what I thought about it. It just kind of goes off the tongue too. Z rhymes with G. I don't know. It just worked out really nicely. So
when I first saw it, I was like, that could be a good like rap name. Like you could be the next like Lizzo or Cardi B with that name.
I always said if I was a rapper, I'd go by Tayzgg at least, but we're not. That's not part of the plan just yet.
Kevin, you haven't been inspired to do any rap videos. Maybe you'll do a rap video and it'll go viral on TikTok. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, no! I had one of those in college. I made up a rap and we did a music video for it, and it went viral for the wrong reasons on TFM Friday Fails, and I was mortified. And it's now no longer. It doesn't exist. It does exist, but it does not exist to the public. I was going to ask,
how do I find this clip?
Nope. It's not a public video because I got in trouble for it too by my sorority. So they were like, you have to take it down.
I was going to say, what platforms were like, what did it go viral on at that time?
YouTube. It was a YouTube video. Yep. It only got 12,000 views, which isn't crazy, but for somebody that's never had anything go viral and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh. That was like with me taking it down after, a day or two too. So it was mortifying, but it's out there. It's just not out there for the public anymore.
Maybe one day you'll get confident enough to release it to the public as a joke.
Yeah, I'll probably show my stream one day. It's funny. It's just me being. If people didn't know me though, and the people that saw it didn't, they were quick to judge. Like, what is this girl doing? But it was just me being a jokester and trying to be funny. So
Tayzgg GG. Everywhere. Is it the same on everything? Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, all exactly the same?
Yep. That's where to find me.
Smarter than me. Look at that. Yeah, that's one big mistake I made because I didn't ever plan to do this. I just sort of happened. And by the time I signed up for everything was like a different handle. And
that's tough, like,
whatever. Doesn't matter. What is your all-time, I guess we asked this, but if you had one moment or one memory to wrap us up,
okay,
what would it be in gaming?
I honestly could just go with, if I could do something that happened recently.
Definitely.
Today, we just hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, which was a big milestone for me. And I did my first custom game match. In order to do a custom game in Warzone, you have to have at least 24 people. And I held off on that for a while because I was trying to build my community up and make sure I had the right people and enough people to even make it happen. And we hit it today, and it was just really good vibes playing with everybody. I liked knowing everybody in the lobby, and I got a little emotional. It was just like I finally felt like I'm doing this. This is my community. It's all coming together. This is what I wanted, and it was a really good feeling. So I definitely came off a little bit of a high coming into this today, into this podcast. I'm sure there are other moments and memories, but that's just the one sticking out to me the most right now because it's just been such a ride. And I think if people listen to this that are grinding for Twitch and stuff, they'll understand that. And when they have those moments and those feelings, it's just like you're on cloud nine. It's incredible. And you finally feel like it's all for a reason. I'm doing this for a reason, and people are happy to be here. And yeah.
It's definitely validating. I mean, people say like it shouldn't matter whether you get big or people see you, but if you're creating content in any way, shape, or form, part of you wants people to connect with it. That's like
yeah,
and I could see.
Well, it's not always for the reasons of the like the money or anything.
Yes.
You just want people to be there and to witness it and stuff, and that's kind of where I went with it too. So I think that's different than maybe people that are like, I'm trying to get big so I can not work a day in my life or something.
What is I've heard the term thrown around again. Sorry for my Twitch ignorance.
You're good.
Twitch partner. You have to get a certain size to become a partner, right?
Yeah, it's a hard feat to get. You have to average, I think, like 75 viewers a stream or something like that, and stream for a number of days per month, I think, and have a certain number of maybe not have followers. There's affiliate, and then there's partner. Affiliate's when you can start making money at least, and then partners like that next step. And I don't even know how partners vary from affiliates as far as like payouts and stuff. I've never looked into it.
So it's more complex than just how many followers you have.
Yeah, it's like averaging viewer. That's probably the hardest part to get partners, that average viewer count. It's really hard to get 75 average for a stream. Tonight we were popping out around 35 the whole time, which is huge for me because I don't ever pull that many. But it's gonna be a long road before I hit that number. But I'm totally fine with where I'm at right now, and there's no rush to get partner. I'm just coasting and enjoying where I'm at.
What benefits come? So you said affiliate gives you the ability to make money. What extra benefits come from being a partner?
I
think you get like a bigger payout maybe, or they kind of pay you in general. I have no idea. That's what I have to look up still. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm not helpful there.
So apparently we both don't know enough about Twitch.
Right.
It's all right. You're
and
the Twitch master.
One on it. So
Jay-Z, Tayzgg, GG everywhere. Hey, I want to say thanks for coming on. Like I struggle sometimes getting guests. I'll just like randomly hit people up, and it's very rare that I'll hit someone up and they'll respond as quickly as you and hop on a podcast as you. Normally, it requires me being like way more persistent and annoying for at least like 2 to 6 weeks. So
I got you.
I appreciate that.
Definitely.
I'll put all this shit in the podcast description where you can find her if you want to. The thing I don't like about TikTok is there's no way to like look at someone's backlog. You can't like organize. You just have to scroll and scroll and scroll. So by the time someone sees this, the clip that spawned this whole conversation,
it might be a little bit older.
Yeah, it's going to be buried like a while down, but the thumbnail is you crying. So just look for
it's probably going to be the only one like that too.
Just
I'm sure.
Find the thumbnail of her crying her eyes out. That'll be the clip that made me emotional and reached out to her, and yada, yada, yada. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Adios, everybody. Bye-bye.